Well, there's been a number of violent situations that have happened at this autonomous zone, which has attracted Antifa members, eco terrorists, and other far left violent extremists. Back in May, there were 8 people who were arrested. Firebombs were thrown at police who were doing a patrol of the area. So there's been a sort of like this sort of back and forth of like where there would be a little bit of construction and then the equipment gets sabotaged, hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages to the equipment. Police would make some arrests and then they would come back. And well, the violence has been escalating now to a point of near deadly violence. So on Tuesday of this week, here's the big thing. There were 5 arrests, okay, and there was a big raid that happened involving the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So now this is a state agency. This is like a task force involving multiple law enforcement agencies that were responding. And 5 people were arrested. You see their pictures here. And this is a big shocker. They were hit with domestic terrorism charges, which, although rare, is actually not entirely unprecedented. There have been other Antifa-linked extremists who have been charged with terrorism-related crimes, but it's rare, and it doesn't get the attention nationally or internationally. This really should be a front-page story. It should be on the airwaves across the United States, and it should get international coverage. But I wanted to explain a little bit of that background. This is a person who's driving a truck, and he drove by the autonomous zone and saw what he thought was abandoned property, and he wanted to go and take some of it. Well, he made the mistake of going in, and according to him and what he reported to the police, they had ambushed him and set the vehicle on fire with him in it, nearly killing him. So he had to flee for his life. And you see there's he was interviewed in front of the vehicle, which was completely like melted down because it was completely engulfed in flames. So that was 2 weeks before the raid on Tuesday. And then 72 hours before that, over the weekend, there were 2 under construction houses nearby or right next to the autonomous zone that were completely burnt to the ground. So for months and months now, there have been these number of arson attacks either on the streets or damaging property, setting construction equipment on fire, destroying it, in an attempt to stop this, what they call a cop city, from being built.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper. Other law enforcement personnel returned fire in self-defense and evacuated the trooper to a safe area. The individual who fired upon law enforcement and shot the trooper was killed in the exchange of gunfire. Over the last several months, law enforcement in portions of our community have experienced growing criminal behavior and terroristic acts committed by individuals and groups concerning the building of Atlanta's new public safety training center. These individuals and groups have attempted to disguise their activities as being protests against the building of this facility. The GBI and all law enforcement agencies and our partners here embrace a citizen's right to protest, but law enforcement can't stand by while serious criminal acts are being committed that jeopardize the safety of the citizens we're sworn to protect.